Just imagine, you're cleaning a luxury hotel room, sweating, your hands calloused, dreaming of a better life, when the phone suddenly rings. You answer without even imagining that this connection will change your life forever. Today, let's dive into the amazing story of Amina, an African chambermaid who, with a simple hello in Dutch, left a millionaire gaping, and the request he made after that? It's creepy. Stay until the end because what happened to her is simply unbelievable. This journey begins at a 5-star hotel in Amsterdam, the Netherlands. Amina, a 28-year-old, came from Ghana, a West African country looking for a better future. Like so many other immigrants, she faced daily challenges: the language barrier, family longing, prejudice looks. Working as a chambermaid, spending hours cleaning rooms, arranging beds, and dealing with demanding guests. But Amina kept a secret, something no one at the hotel knew. And it was exactly this secret that put it on the way to one of the richest men who ever passed through that place. Amina's life was never easy. She grew up in a small village in Ghana, where there was barely electricity. Since childhood, I dreamed of knowing the world, but the reality was hard. At age 20, he got a visa for Europe, but the immigrant's life was not the fairy tale he imagined. He worked 12 hours a day, earning the least to survive and still send money to his sick mother in his home country. However, Amina had something special, a natural talent for learning languages. During the intervals at work, he heard podcasts in Dutch, practiced sentences, and talked to local colleagues to improve. Little did he know that this effort was about to open a door she never imagined being possible. And it was on an ordinary day, while cleaning room 1407, one of the most expensive of the hotel, that everything changed. The phone rang. Amina hesitated. Normally, maids do not answer guest calls, but something inside it said to answer. When he took the phone and spoke, what happened next was something no one could predict. Get ready, because this story is just starting. Before you continue, a question. What if it was you and Amin? Would you have the courage to answer a call that could change your life? Or would you let fear speak louder? Think about it, because what Amina did right now will surprise. Across the line was Peter van der Meer, a Dutch millionaire, owner of a network of technology companies. He was staying at the hotel for an important conference, but there was a problem. He desperately needed someone who spoke Dutch fluently to solve an urgent question. Peter called the room, waiting to talk to a manager, but to his surprise, who answered was Amin. And when she responded to an almost perfect Dutch with a slight but totally understandable accent, he was speechless. "Who are you? How does Dutch man speak so well?" he asked, completely intrigued. Amina, nervous, explained that it was just a chambermaid, but had learned the language on her own. Peter, impressed, wasted no time. He asked her to go to the hotel's conference hall to help with an emergency translation. A millionaire contract depended on someone who could mediate a conversation between him and a business partner who did not speak English. Amin, with a rapid heart, knew that was his chance. But I was also afraid. What if it wasn't good enough? What if it missed? Even so, he accepted the challenge. When he arrived at the hall, all his eyes turned to her. A chambermaid, simple uniform, in the middle of tender and Thai executives. But Amin was not intimidated. For 2 hours, it translated each word accurately, helping Peter close a business of millions of euros. In the end, the millionaire could not hide his gratitude. He looked at Amina and said something that made his eyes fill with tears. Want to know what it was? Keep following up, because this is just the beginning of an amazing transformation. Peter van der Meer was not just a businessman, it was someone who valued talent regardless of where to come. After grateful Amin for impeccable work, he said, "You do not belong to this uniform. You have a gift, and I want to help you grow up." At that moment, she offered her a job as a personal assistant in her company, with a salary she never imagined earning. But there was a problem. Amina had no academic background, and accepting the position meant leaving the safety of work at the hotel. Also, not everyone at the hotel were happy with the news. Some colleagues, moved by envy, began to spread gossip, saying that Amina had enjoyed the situation. Even the manager, who once ignored her, began to treat her coldly. Amina was divided. On the one hand, the chance to change her life. On the other, the fear of failing and the pressure of a hostile environment. He spent sleepless nights, thinking about what to do while looking for strength to decide. Meanwhile, Peter didn't give up on her. He called her to a meeting and said something that marked her deeply. "Amina, the world gives no chance. If you don't grasp this opportunity now, you may never have another one." These words echoed in your mind. Amina knew she needed to decide, but she also felt the weight of responsibility. I was not just thinking about itself. The money he sent to Ghana was the livelihood of his family. What if everything went wrong? Then, in a moment of courage, Amina made the riskiest decision of her life. He resigned from the hotel, faced the trial eyes, and accepted his job with Peter. But what she didn't know was that this choice would bring even greater challenges, and also rewards I could never imagine. Follow, because Amin's story is far from over. Amina's decision to accept the job offered by Peter Vandermeer marked the beginning of a new phase in her life. Leaving the hotel where you worked for years was like closing a familiar but also scary chapter. She exchanged the maid uniform for formal clothes that she barely knew how to wear, and the cleaning cart through a table in a glass office in the heart of Amsterdam. On the first day as Peter's personal assistant, Amina felt a mixture of excitement and insecurity. Would she be able to accompany the rhythm of a corporate world so unlike anything she knew? The early days were a real test. Amina needed to learn how to use complex computer systems, organize tight schedules, and deal with emails in Dutch and English. Peter, however, proved to be a patient chief. He saw in Amina not just an employee, but someone with the potential to go far beyond. He encouraged her to ask questions, make mistakes, and learn from them. Still, the environment around it was not always welcoming. Some coworkers looked at her with suspicion, whispering about how a former quarreler had achieved such an important position. These comments hurt, but Amina tried to ignore them. She knew she needed to prove her value, not to others but to herself. In addition, the longing for home seemed to grow every day. Although his new salary allowed to send more money to the family in Ghana, Amina missed conversations with her mother, smells of home food, and the simplicity of life in the village. At night, in her small apartment, she wondered if all that effort would be worth it, but something inside her said to continue. After all, she had not come so far to give up now, and in the midst of these doubts, a new opportunity was about to arise, something that would further test her determination and show what she was able. A few weeks after starting at the new job, Peter summoned Amin to an important meeting. He was planning a business trip to South Africa, where he would close a major deal with local investors. To Amina's surprise, he asked her to accompany him. "You know African culture, speak several languages, and have a unique ability to connect with people. I need you there with me," said Peter. Amina was flattered but also nervous. Traveling to another country with the boss meant a huge responsibility, and she didn't want to disappoint him. The preparation for the trip was intense. Amina spent hours studying about investors, learning business terms, and even practicing presentations. When they finally arrived in Cape Town, she felt like she was in a completely new but at the same time familiar world. The heat, the colors and sounds of Africa remembered her home, and that gave her an extra strength. During the meetings, Amina not only translated conversations, but also helped Peter understand cultural nuances he didn't know. His presence made all the difference, and the agreement was successfully closed, yielding millions to the company. However, not everything was flowers. During a dinner with the investors, one of the executives made a disrespectful comment about immigrants without realizing that Amin was listening. She felt a knot in her throat, but decided not to react. Instead, he used his intelligence to change the course of the conversation, impressing everyone with his knowledge and charisma. Peter, who noticed the incident, approached her later and said, "You dealt with it as a true leader. I'm proud." These words were a balm for Amin, who realized that despite the challenges, he was beginning to find his place in that world. Back in the Netherlands, the news of success in South Africa spread throughout the company. For the first time, Amina began to feel that some colleagues saw her with respect, although others still kept some distance. Peter, in turn, decided to invest even more in her development. He enrolled her in management and leadership courses, paying everything from his own pocket. "I want you to grow up, Amin. One day you may be in charge of something big," he said. Amina, who had never imagined coming so far, began to believe that maybe this was possible. Over time, she became an indispensable piece in the Peter team. Your ability to solve problems quickly and empathy in dealing with people from different cultures have made it a reference in the office. She began leading small teams in international projects, which months earlier would look like a distant dream. The larger salary also brought significant changes. For the first time, Amina managed to bring her mother from Ghana to visit her in the Netherlands. Seeing the expression of pride on her mother's face upon meeting her new world was one of the most exciting moments of her life. But not everything was perfect. The pressure from work began to weigh. Amina felt that she needed to always be at the top, that she couldn't make mistakes. "After all, I knew that many people still doubted her because of her origin." This insecurity accompanied her, even with all the recognition she received. And in the midst of this whirlwind of emotions, a new challenge was on the horizon, something that would test not only its professional skills, but also its inner strength. About a year after starting to work with Peter, Amina faced her first major crisis in the company. An important project, in which she had taken the lead, faced serious problems due to a cultural misunderstanding with Asian partners. The mistake cost time and money, and some colleagues took the situation to criticize it openly, saying that she was not ready for positions of such responsibility. For the first time, Amina felt that she might not belong to that place. Peter, however, did not let her give up. He called her to a frank conversation and said, "Mistakes happen, Amin. What matters is how you correct them. Let's solve it together." With his support, Amina worked day and night to repair the damage. She contacted her partners, apologizing personally, and proposed creative solutions that recovered their trust. The project, which seemed lost, was successfully completed, and Amina learned a valuable lesson. Resilience is as important as talent. This experience also made her realize that she needed to take care of herself. The constant pressure was affecting her health, and she decided to seek balance. He began reserving time for himself, practicing meditation and writing letters to his family in Ghana. These small actions helped her recover energy and confidence. And as he rose, something unexpected happened. Peter announced that he was planning a new venture and wanted Amin as one of the main ones involved. What would this project be? Keep following to find out. Peter's new venture was something that touched Amin's heart deeply. He planned to create a foundation to support immigrants in Europe, offering language courses, professional training, and legal support. "I want you to lead this to me, Amina. No one understands the difficulties these people face than you," he said. Amina was speechless. Leading an initiative like this meant transforming your own fighting story into inspiration for others. Accepting the invitation was an easy decision, but the work was challenging. Amina spent months organizing events, seeking partnerships, and talking to immigrants from different countries to understand their needs. Every story he heard reminded her of his own journey, and that motivated her to continue. Under its leadership, the foundation began to help hundreds of people, giving them the chance to start over, just as Amin had. Meanwhile, your personal life was also changing. With professional success, Amina was able to bring her mother permanently to the Netherlands, ensuring her quality medical care. For the first time in years, he felt that he was building a future, not only for himself, but for his whole family. And in the midst of all this, he began to plan something even greater, a way to help his community in Ghana, using everything he had learned. With the founding of Peter working in full swing, Amina decided it was time to return to her roots. She organized a trip to Ghana, but not as a simple visitor. His goal was to create an educational project in his Christmas village, offering language and technology classes for young people who, like her, dreamed of a better future. Using part of his economies and seeking donations through the foundation, Amina was able to build a small school equipped with computers and teaching materials. Seeing the village children learning with enthusiasm was one of the most rewarding moments of his life. Amina realized that by helping others, he was healing wounds from the past and giving meaning to all the difficulties he faced. Her mother, who accompanied her on the trip, couldn't contain her tears when she saw the impact her daughter was causing. "You are the light of our family," she said in a choked voice. Back in the Netherlands, Amina continued to share her time between the foundation and the projects in Africa. Its story began to spread, inspiring other people to believe in themselves regardless of their origins. And while working to further expand its impact, something unexpected happened. Peter made an announcement that took everyone by surprise, including Amina. During an annual event of the company, Peter took the stage to make a special speech. He talked about the importance of recognizing hidden talents and, to everyone's surprise, called Amina to join him. Faced with hundreds of people, he announced that she would be promoted to the company's Director of International Operations, a position of huge prestige. "Amin is proof that with determination and courage, anyone can reach the impossible," he said, while the audience was applauded standing. Amina, thrilled, could barely believe what was happening. That moment was the culmination of years of struggle, learning, and overcoming. She thanked Peter for believing her, but also dedicated recognition to her family and all immigrants who, like her, faced daily challenges in search of a better life. His words touched everyone in the hall, and many later approached to congratulate her and share her own stories. With the new position, Amina knew the challenges would be even bigger, but was also ready to face them. She had learned that fear should never be greater than the desire to grow, and as he looked at the future, he was sure of one thing: his journey was just beginning. More projects, more dreams, and more lives to transform were waiting for you. Amina's story shows us something powerful. Sometimes a small decision, such as answering a phone, can change the course of a lifetime. From a maid facing difficulties in a hotel in Amsterdam, she has become a leader, inspiration, and a transformation force for hundreds of people. Your courage to learn, to risk, and never give up is a reminder that we all have a hidden potential, waiting to be discovered. And now, the question is, what is your connection that can change everything? What is that step you are afraid to give, but you can open doors you never imagined? Amina's life teaches us that no matter where you come from, but where you are willing to go. So don't wait any longer. Grab your opportunities, however smaller, because they can be the beginning of something extraordinary. If this story has touched your heart, share it with someone who needs inspiration. And say here in the comments, what was the moment of Amin's life that most marked you? That hello in Dutch? The courage to accept the job or impact it has caused on your community? Let's continue this conversation, because stories like Amina's deserve to be told and remembered. Until the next day. Before ending, it is worth reflecting on the lasting impact of Amin's trajectory. Today, she is not just a successful executive or a community leader. It is a symbol of hope for thousands of people around the world. His school in Ghana has formed dozens of young people, many of whom have achieved scholarships to study abroad. The foundation that it helps lead in the Netherlands expanded its operations to other European countries, reaching even more immigrants in search of a fresh start. Peter van der Meer, the man who saw the potential in Amina in that unexpected connection, remains his mentor and friend. He often says that learning from Amin was as valuable as teaching her, because she showed him that the real success is not just in profits, but in the lives we turn along the way. Together they plan new projects, including an online platform to connect immigrants to job and education opportunities. As for Amin, she doesn't stop dreaming. His next goal is to write a book about his journey, hoping to inspire even more people to believe in themselves. She also plans to visit other villages in Ghana, expanding the reach of her school and creating a legacy that lasts for generations. Its story leaves us with a clear message. Never underestimate the power of a small act of courage. Sometimes all you need to say yes to an opportunity, even if it seems scary. So, how about starting today? Think of something you always wanted to do, but you were afraid. It may be to learn something new, look for a better job, or help someone who needs it. Take this inspiration from Amin's story and turn it into action. The world is full of possibilities, and you can be next to surprise everyone. Let's build stories of overcoming and hope together. We have reached the end of this incredible journey with Amin, a woman who proved that the impossible can come true. From that moment when she answered a call in Dutch until she became a global leader, she taught us lessons of resilience, empathy, and determination. May each of us carry some of this strength in our own challenges. If you enjoyed knowing this story, don't forget to leave your like and subscribe to more content like this. Sharing life stories like Amin's is a way of spreading inspiration and showing that we can all make a difference. See you soon, with more reports that will touch your heart and motivate your dreams.